Hello. Hands up if you're like me and you've started lifting your early potatoes. Hands down. Hands up if you're like me and you've been growing them in pots. Hands down. Okay, if that's the case, got some of these guys spare now, haven't you? And if that's the case, you've got some spare compost. It's only the end of June. We really need to utilise these pots and that compost, don't we? There's 2 or 3 summer months left. That's if summer ever arrives. So what we're going to do, we're going to reinvigorate this compost with this bloodfish and bone. We're going to put it into these pots and we're going to sow these leeks. We're going to let these leeks grow on over summer and autumn and into winter, then we'll harvest them. This is a leek called Malabar. It's a leek I started from seed indoors. It's one I grew last year. This is a leek called Musselburgh, and as you can see it's much further on than Malabar. This was grown by a friend, started in a greenhouse, and as a consequence it's a much bigger leek at this point in the growing season. But we're going to sow 1 pot with Malabar and 1 pot with Musselburgh. Okay. We'll just move the leeks out the shot. And we'll add some bloodfish and bone to this compost. And this is the compost. It's already been used this year. Okay. So we're going to give it a second go. Don't be surprised if Molly doesn't show her face now. Once she smells this bloodfish and bone, she'll be sniffing about. Okay. Yeah, she's knocking about. She hasn't come into shot yet, I don't think, but she can definitely smell this bloodfish and bone. Can't you, Molly? You wondered where the smell's coming from, I know. It's coming from this bloodfish and bone, and it's in this barrel now, and it's going in these pots. Okay, let's plant some leeks. I've removed some of the leeks from the pots now, ready to plant, and I'm going to plant 4 leeks in each pot. These are the Malabar, and these are the Musselburgh. I think you can see that the Musselburgh is a lot further on than the Malabar. You can see there's a lot more root on the Musselburgh, it's a bigger plant. So I'll show you how I'm going to plant these now. Okay, 4 in a pot. Small piece of bamboo as a dibber. I'm just going to put four small holes in here in the compost. These don't need to be so deep and they don't need to be so big because the leeks aren't so big and they haven't got a great deal of root on them. We'll get all that root in that hole. Okay. Get all that root in that hole. Okay, now these guys, because the roots are much bigger, I'm going to struggle to get those to drop in a hole. So what we'll do is this. We'll simply trim the roots. How's that? Okay. And by the way, one last hands up. Hands up if you're going to give this a shot. Are you going to have a go? That's what I like to see. A bit of enthusiasm for homegrown veg. Okay. So. Don't forget, last but not least, these guys are going to need a drink, aren't they? They've had root disturbance. In fact, they've had the roots trimmed, so they'll definitely need a drink. We'll need to make sure these guys don't dry out. And then they'll get a good hold. Okay, there'll be no stopping them then. Right. Now we're not even going to fill those holes in. That's as much as we're going to do. But what we are going to, oh, did I tell you could put your hands down? Can't remember. If I didn't, put your hands down. Right. We'll just water these in. Like so. And that's it. There's no more to it. So we've already had our early potatoes, or some of them. We've recycled the compost. We fired it up with a bit of bloodfish and bone, but anything will do really. And then we've banged it all back in the same pots and planted some leeks. Okay, we'll have a look at these guys in a few weeks' time and see how they're getting on. With a bit of luck they won't be like this, they'll be all standing upright, but only time will tell. Okay, this is Homegrown Veg, signing out. Come on, Mom, cup of tea, come on.